Hi, this is HeyJay Stylexio and welcome to my YouTube channel. So if you're new to the channel, kindly use the button down below, the subscribe button. Don't forget to like and then share all our videos. Well, today we're going to be learning how to pad our hip, and it's going to look so natural like it's the real hip. So you see so many celebrities on Instagram, their photos when they do red carpet events, and then you see their waist snatched and then the hips so full, and you're wondering what's happening. And then from the photo, this is not even editing. So what is going on? Well, the secret, you're going to learn it today. So if you want to know how to pad your hip perfectly, watch the video till the end. So let's get started. So first of all, we'll start with our basic skirt pattern, and this is the back pattern, this is the front pattern. So if you want to know how to construct your basic skirt, just check on the description box. There's a link to the skirt tutorial on how to construct the basic skirt. So this is our hip line, and this is the nail line. So this is the front pattern, this is the back pattern. The difference is the front pattern, you have the zipper allowance already, and then these are darts, the waist dart for both skirts. So if you're making this for yourself or for a client and the person is close to you, you can take the person's underbutt measurement. You put your tape on the person's waist, wherever the person is wearing the skirt, to wherever the underbutt is. So that's the measurement you use, and then you draw the line. Then, but this pattern or this style we'll be using it for a client that we do not have the underbutt measurement. So this pattern still works for anybody, but the best is take the underbutt measurement. So we'll say this is the knee line, this is the hip line. So let's start with any of the patterns. So let me start with the back pattern. I want to get the curve of the hip. So first of all, I've used this now to cut on fabric, and I've used it to cut on lining as well. So this is the lining. I've cut on use the pattern to cut the lining. The lining is the exact pattern measurement with sewing allowance. This is the exact measurement of this client with sewing allowance added. So I've used it to cut on the lining exactly. But because we're adding hip, that hip we're adding now, we're adding it to the main fabric and not the lining. So that's what I added it now to this, the main fabric. This is where we added the extra now, the extra hip. So how do you know the allowance to add for the extra hip? We have different foam types. There are some as thick as 2 inches, there are some as thick as, this is 1/4 inch thickness, and the person doesn't want too much effect, so this is it. So what you just do is you check the thickness, put them together, and then measure the thickness. Put it together, make sure it's in 4, because you are cutting 4, 2 for the front, 2 for the back. So make sure it's 4 together like this. Place them equally like this. Don't press, just like this, and then take the thickness. This thickness now is 1 1/2. So the hip measurement of this person now is 44, plus 1 1/2 is 45 1/2. It's 45 1/2 I'm using dividing 4 by normal division to get the hip measurement. But for the waist, I'll use the normal waist, I'll use the normal hem. It's just the hip, I'm adding this hip measurement so that this form can fit into that new measurement. So that's why I'm taking the measurement of the form to calculate. So that's just basically how to go about it. So the new hip measurement now has been added to the fabric. But don't forget the lining, we use the exact measurement. But this one we added the foam measurement. So let me show you now how to get your hip curve now. So from your knee line, place your tape from your knee line, either of the pattern. So let's start with the back pattern. Place your tape on your knee line and you mark 5 inches upward. So this is 5. Then you also mark 2 inch upward. This is 2. So this 5 inch now is serving as our butt line. That is the under butt line. But when you take the person's measurement, the other butt line could stop somewhere here, could stop somewhere here. So, but this is serving. So by the time we get the cuff, it will still fit perfectly. So on this 5 inch mark, you come in by 3 inches or 4 inches, depending on how much hip the person wants. So I want to do 3 inches. So I just come in by 3 inches, and I'll mark it. said here is 3 inches, from here to here is 3 inches, why from up to this place is 2 inches, why from up to here is 5 inches. Then on this hip line, I'll measure 1 inch from the center back. This is the zipper allowance. From the zipper allowance, I'll just measure 1 inch on this hip line. This is the 1 inch. Then from the waist, I'll come down by 1 inch as well. If it's an high waist skirt, then you come down by as much as 2 or 3 inch. But this skirt is a normal skirt that is starting at the normal waist, so I'm coming down by 1 inch. So here is 1 inch, and then here is 1 inch. So I'm going to connect this point to this point, to this 3 inches mark, and then to this 2 inches mark. So let me get started. So I want to connect these points together. You can use your French curve, you can use your ruler, whichever works for you. I'll be using the French curve. Connect it. Okay. Then connect this 1 inch to the 3 inch mark. And then we'll connect it to this 2 inches mark. So this is it. So this is what we're forming the hip of this person. So this is the hip. So we're going to cut a foam like this, 2 foam. So you can just label here up, label here down, so that when you cut it, you don't place down up and place up down. So we do the same thing for the front pattern. So the hip on the front is not supposed to be pronounced like the back pattern. So what we just do here we'll take our measurement tool from the knee line, mark 2 inches. Then on this line, you can choose to take this nipple to nipple distance line, your dart line down, and mark here, or you can measure from here 4 inches, or you can measure from here 3 inches. So whatever works for you. So whatever inch you're measuring depends on how big you want the hip to come out. So I'll take it from the dart line. Then on the waist, as normal, you take it down by 1 inch. So whatever inch you take here is what you take here. So both has to correlate, and then above the knee, both has to correlate. But here we're not using the under butt line. So we just connect here to this, and then to this. So after it. So this is what I'll be cutting out now, to cut now. So I'm done cutting. You can see the hip, the way the hip is already shaped. So this is the back pattern. The back has more hip than the front. This is the front. So we're going to cut this now on our foam, and then label it on the foam so that we don't place it wrongly. So just place it on your foam like this, and then cut. This one I'm cutting 2 of these, and I'm cutting 2 of this for the 2 sides, the left and the right side, left and right side. So after cutting, you see what it looks like. So these are the parts now. I've cut it out with the pattern, so the pattern is not needed anymore. This is it, and I labeled it up, down, up, down, up, down. So this is left, this is right side, so that I will not get confused and then place the down on at the top, and then the hip is looking funny and people are like, what are you wearing? Or place the right side on the left side. So this shape now will be at the sides, the boot side, and then this part now will be on your side on the seam allowance. So what we'll do now is place the ones that align together like this, and then we'll use our gum, our glue, to glue it together. So just like this, I'll place it, I'll put glue by this side, and then I'll glue it gently. I'll glue it on both sides so to form one piece. Or after gluing like this, I can still tack it. If I don't want to glue, I can tack it with my needle and thread, and then to form this concave shape. Is this concave or convex now? Because the coming out is convex. So to form this convex and then concave inward. So this is just what I'll do now. I want to add the glue. Just watch me. You can use any fabric glue of your choice. Just add glue on the sides to secure it together. Though my glue is almost finished, but I'll still tack it with my hand needle, so I do not have a problem with that. So just put it like this and allow it stick together. You can see it now, it's already sticking. My glue is almost gone. I might not need to glue everywhere since I have very little glue, so that I can go around, and then I can also use it on the other side. So this is it. After joining with my gum, with my fabric glue, I'm still trying to tack it so that it will stay in place. So when you're doing for a client or for yourself, please use a matching thread. I just did it without a matching thread so that you can see the thread on it. This is it. This is what it looks like now. So this is the hip, this is the back, this is the front. So I'm just doing the same thing here. I just want you to see the process. So just stack it with a matching thread. So if you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it on your status, on your Facebook, and please don't forget to follow me on social media. On Facebook, HeyJay Stylexio is my name on Facebook. On Instagram at HeyJay Stylexio. Now you can see now that I've joined the front and back hip together, hip pad together. So the next thing to do is to level it. If you see the sides now, you see that the sides are squared. If you put this on your skirt now, this elevation now will show when you're wearing it. So we want it to be flat and then elevate up. So just do very easy. The top, just trim it. Don't trim the, if you trim the bottom, meaning you are reducing from it. So it's the top you're trimming. You're just trying to level it so that it will just come from the ground and then back up. So you just trim it like this. Much as you can. You can use your razor blade, you can use your scissors like this. Trim the top, and when it's leveled, fine. If you can see it now, you see that here is leveled, but it's still not leveled. But if you check the sides now, you see that here is higher than this side. Let me trim it more so you see the difference. So we're going to do this round on this side, on both hips, but I want you to see what it looks like. So can you see that there is a difference between here and here? Here is elevated, here is slipping from the ground up. So this is what we're going to do round, and when I'm done, you'll see what it looks like. So this is it now. I've trimmed the sides. You can see it now. It's flat now. So this is it. If you want it smooth, you can just use sandpaper or file to file it. So this is basically what it looks like. Now I'm going to be joining my skirts on both sides. I'm going to add the dart on the skirts, then join the sides of the skirts to this the back and the front, leaving only the zipper allowance. I'll do the same thing for the lining, and then we'll add a hip pad, and then we'll be done with it. So when I'm done joining the side, you'll see it. So now I've joined the sides of the skirts and the sides of the lining. So what is left now is the zipper allowance for both the skirt and the lining. So what you do is just make the wrong side where you sew, where you joined the lining, to face you. I use a contrasting thread also so that you can see it. But please, when you're making for anybody, use a matching thread. So don't forget that when we're making our pattern, we came down by 1 inch. So you come down by 1 inch and mark it on the side seam. Now don't forget you label this left, right. So check for where the left is on your lining and place it. When you're placing the right, check for where the right is on your line, meaning that when you're wearing this, it should be on the left side of your skirt. So I've come down by 1 inch. I'll place the hip now on this 1 inch mark and then pin it down. So this joining is what will be on the line of the side seam. Then I'll make sure I open it. There's no rumples down. This tip will also be on it as well. Then you pin it down. So what you do is you just pin all the parts down. You can use your glue gum if you have enough. Put it under and then gum it first before you tack it, or you can just tack it. So I'll tack it around. I'll place other part, tack it around, and then you see what it looks like. Don't forget the wrong side is facing me. So this is it. I'm tacking it with my needle and thread. Just tie it. But you know, when you're making it, like for someone you want it to really stay, then your tacking stitches have to be close. It should not be like very far apart, so that it can stay for as long as possible, you know. So even when you wash it, it won't really have any effect on the foam, and you are very sure that it will not go out. So this is it now at the back. So this is the side now that will be in your body now. You can see the way it is. So this is just basically how it's going to be. So sure you see it's smooth. There is no fabric now gathering here. So that's why you have to be careful. And I'll do the same thing now for this other side, and then you see what it looks like. So this is it now. I've added it to it. So now the next thing, this is the correct side and this is the wrong side. So the next thing to do now is to turn it like this now to the correct side facing me. Then the correct side also of the main fabric, I'll place it on the lining. Then I'll stitch it on this hem and then stitch it under. When I'm done, you see, so what will be left is my zipper allowance. Yeah, I'll just close at the sides. So just watch. So this is it now. I've joined the lining with the main fabric at the waist side and at the end. So what is left now is the zipper allowance. I'll be turning the skirt now from the zipper allowance. So this is it. So in a situation where you want to add band to your skirt, you know how to go about it. You can watch the tutorial on how to add bands to skirts and then still go follow the same process in adding your hip pad. So I'll just give it a good press. This is it. So this is the aim. Just give it a good press so that I can relax. This is the hip now, and this is the inside of the hip. So these two sides now will be closed with our zip. Just add your zip to the sides and then you join it together. So this is basically how it is. I'm going to wear it and then you see what it looks like. So this is it now. I'm going to show you what the skirt looks like after adding the hip pad. It's so beautiful and it looks so original. So I had to change to a bodycon gown so that you can see my real shape. This is it, 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 this is it. So the next thing you're gonna see is me wearing this skirt. This is my new hip. Anyway, the thing didn't really go around because it's not my measurements for someone smaller. But you can imagine someone smaller, this is how big the hip came out. So you can see, I just pinned it. I've not added zip yet. But you can see how flawless it is. You don't even know I added it. You'll be like, she's so shapy. She has a tiny waist and then hips, but this is it. So I expect you all to create your hip on your skirt or your gown, whatever. But this is just the basic way. So thank you for watching, and thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. And don't forget to give it a thumbs up, yeah, and subscribe to the channel. Bye bye.